1977, George Lucas formed a legacy.
The Force is with me, and I am with the Force.
Inspired by mythology, his saga has become a passion for many.
Feel the Force around you.
His legend has become our story.
It's true. All life.
One of resistance.
We are the spark that'll light the fire that'll burn the First Order down.
Rebellion.
Rebellion is built on hope.
And redemption.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
This is Star Wars Reactions.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to Star Wars Reactions. We are happy you're joining us, and we are happy to be back. This is episode 76, and we got an awesome show planned for you. My name is Aaron Harris, and joining me, as always, he is the C-3PO to my R2-D2. He is the David Motters. David, brother, how's it going?
It's going really good, buddy. I'm ready to react. And, you and I have always enjoyed these vintage reactions episodes. And I'm really looking forward to this one because this was a really fun and positive episode. So, yes, very, very ready to react, my friend.
Excellent. I know I am too. These are the episodes, I had fun covering Book of Boba Fett for the 7 weeks it was on the air, but these are the types of episodes I miss doing, these vintage reactions and our chats and those types of things. So it's nice to get back into the mix on these and to kick things off with this episode of Vintage Reactions. So it's going to be a great show. Before we get into our review, though, I want to actually talk about some news that broke this evening. And we're recording this on February 17th, which is a Thursday. It's late in the evening when we're recording the show. Wow, I can't. Okay. Wow. Okay. Don't know where that came from. But maybe because we are talking about the report that broke about 3-4 hours ago from the time we're recording to this. And I don't know if you saw the report, David, but Variety, the entertainment magazine, very reputable, very on target magazine, but very well respected, is reporting that the legend himself, the maestro, the John Williams, is composing a theme for the upcoming Obi-Wan series.
I did hear about it. I saw Dan Z tweeting about it. And I thought, how cool. Turns 90 years old and he's still just knocking it out. So I love that he gets to do that.
I know it's going to be amazing. And he's pretty much mostly retired. He did do the Star Wars movies, the sequel trilogy, and he did do a theme for Solo, Star Wars story. Mm-hmm. He did a theme for Galaxy's Edge when it was built, but he hasn't done any music for TV shows since I think the article said the 80s.
Wow.
It was all movies after that. So technically this is a streaming series, but it's considered a TV series. So he is actually stepping in and he's doing a theme. It doesn't say what theme. We don't know if it's the main theme. We don't know if it's, I'm personally hoping it's like, how Luke has his theme, Leia has her theme. There's the Luke and Leia theme from Return of the Jedi. Rey has her theme. I'm hoping we get an Obi-Wan theme.
Yeah, me too.
Has a bit of the Force theme tied into it, and a bit of Anakin's theme and tied in there. Just, oh my gosh, that would just be mind blowing. I cannot wait to hear this.
Yeah, me too. I'm so excited about that, and I'm so thankful he's still alive, and not just alive, but productive when he wants to be. Right? That's just incredible. I mean, to be I mean, what a brilliant mind to be able to do that for so long. So, again, us Star Wars fans, our cup runneth over.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got to realize it was just what, last week or the week before he turned 90 years old.
Right.
So he is 90 years old and he is still composing music. And I just, it blows my mind, and I'm dreading, I'm dreading the day the inevitable happens and he becomes one with the Force, because I will be wrecked.
Oh,
Because this he's all I listen to. He's all I listened to growing up. He's the majority of what I listen to now. I don't know what I would do at that point, because you're talking about the very top of my bucket list meeting people. He is like right there at the top. And he is my ultimate dream meet. Right there with the maker himself. But I mean, the fact that he's composing for Obi-Wan, we got my favorite composer composing for my favorite character next to Chopper, favorite human character. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm sure Deborah Chow and Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are so glad that he's a part of this. Talk about, the viewership was already going to be incredible. Now, this just adds even more to it. People want to hear that. He's synonymous with Star Wars.
Oh, absolutely. He sure is. So it will be, it's going to be amazing. So keep your ears out. May 25th, Obi-Wan Kenobi premieres. So I know if you're like me, you just ultimately cannot wait. It is going to be phenomenal. And this isn't in our show notes, but I got to mention it. I finally finished Lesser Evil. Throndas in the Sea, Lesser Evil. Have you finished it, David?
I have not.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
All right. We'll table this discussion for a later date.
Okay. All right.
Table it for a later date. But I'll just say this. Man. Zahn is awesome.
Okay. All right.
And Mark Thompson's incredible. So, so we'll leave it at that. So yeah, so that'll wrap up our news for the day. And let's just go ahead and jump into our discussion of this week's vintage reaction episode. We are talking about episode 4 of the Ewoks, an episode entitled "To Save Deej." Now, of course, this is an 80s show, and I'm not talking about DJ Tanner. I'm talking about Deej, the Ewok. So this episode was released September 28th of 1985, written by Bob Carew and directed by Raymond Jaffelis. Very cool. And essentially, brief synopsis of this episode. In order to save their injured father, Wicket and his brothers are sent by Logray to retrieve the ingredients he needs for a magical cure. Along the way, they get the help of an odd stranger. All right, let's go ahead and open this up. David, what were your initial reactions when you sat back and watched To Save Deej?
Yeah, I was going to quickly say, I like that you called it an odd stranger, and we'll talk about that more. That was really good. This is classic 80s cartoons and a classic adventure. I think, for me, I was watching this kind of with an adult eye, a mythological eye, a storytelling eye. And so like many adventures, just a summary, there's this problem that needs to be solved. Heroes are tasked with the adventure. In this case, many times it's to bring back items, and for them it's the lantern, bird feather, frosh eggs, and a dandelion star urchin, and of course then they put a time limit on it as well. They have a time limit to get the adventure completed. So that was pretty neat to see all that and kind of bring all those ideas back to my mind. And you know, Wicket and his brothers, they do complete the adventure. They meet a friend on the way, the odd stranger you mentioned, and they save their dad. It's a fun episode. It's a good episode, a great episode actually for kids to see. And, you know, I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in talking points as well as my final thoughts. But I really, really like this episode. You know, saying this as an adult. Yes, fun episode, good episode, positive episode.
Perfect. Very good. And I, of course, like I said earlier, these are my favorite episodes that we discussed right now. Yeah, I love doing Book of Boba Fett, but I just love these vintage reactions episodes because I am watching these for the very first time. I missed them growing up. I never watched them. I never watched the reruns, never saw them on DVDs or any VHSs or anything. And so when we record these episodes, I have watched the episode we're reviewing for the very first time. So I'm having as much fun doing these as I was Book of Boba Fett and Bad Batch. I mean, I love it. It's just so much fun. And again, this is just another classic episode. I mean, Wicket's dad gets injured, and it's up to his brothers to just go out and save the day. And we get a plethora of new creatures that apparently reside on Endor, which, you know, has me scratching my head. Where were these dandelion warriors when the Empire was around, man? The way they throw those thorns out of their head, it's amazing. They just, you know, can you imagine the stormtroopers coming through and getting peppered with these spikes? I mean, come on. The Empire wouldn't have stood a chance.
No, I love those those things are cool. I was watching them and I'm like, this is a really neat kind of concept.
It really was. It was a very fun to see these creatures. I mean, literally, it makes me want. I love the mind of the creators. They come up with the most unique creatures and the most unique things. And this, of course, back in the 80s when, you know, there wasn't a lot of Star Wars around. There was the original trilogy.
Right.
That was it. And these just kind of original trilogy and the Christmas special you do not talk about.
Right.
I know, right? But these really filled in a gap, and it just really let the creative juices flow when it comes to creating other creatures living on Endor. I mean, these, you know, you watch Return of the Jedi, you get that picture of Endor. Okay, we got a moon with a bunch of redwoods and a bunch of mini Wookiees. But these guys are, I mean, there's so much more to the planet than apparently we were led on that was there. I mean, granted, you know, I understand not canon, but it gives you another side to Endor, and I love that.
Oh, me too. These dandelion warriors, I just think it's, I mean, it seems like nothing, but I think it's a really neat idea. And there's a lot of other little creatures that go unnamed, you know, that they're showing. And so, like you said, I feel like the creative team there at Nelvana really had a lot of fun with what they were creating.
Oh, absolutely. And they definitely did. And they made some memorable aliens and creatures for this series. And I'm, like I said, I'm literally 4 episodes into the series right now, so I just can't wait to see what else they come up with.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't watch these back then, so I'm watching them fresh as well, and really enjoying them. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into our talking points here. We see at the beginning of the episode where Deej gets injured, and of course is in really bad shape. They get him back to Logray, and Logray he's like, I need these ingredients for the magic cure. So, and we need to have it by sundown. So there's a time limit and a time frame that I know you mentioned in your opening remarks that they have to get done. So Wicket and his brothers, they set out on this mission to gather the ingredients, and they go out, and in order to save time, to save their father, they split up and each take one ingredient to go get. And things go, humorously, not perfect.
They go sideways. Yeah.
They go sideways. They go upside down. I mean, if you're one brother gets pinned up underneath a bird in his nest. Right. So, I mean, and sits
Willie,
there.
yes.
Yeah, Willie just stays there all day, waiting for the bird to move. And it's unique, a unique story. But what I love about this is it is showing what family will do for each other. It's showing that no matter the cost, they're going to help their family. They're helping their dad. They're helping their brother pinned up underneath the bird. They're helping the other brother who's hanging from a tree on a waterfall. I mean, there's no stopping what these family members are going to do for each other. And I love seeing that. Not everybody has the perfect family. That's a given. That's unfortunately a side effect of today's society. But this is what family is supposed to be. Willingness to do what you can for each other. And that's really it goes beyond family. I mean, we have one of their friends jumping in there and helping at some point too. So this is a perfect example of what would make the world better.
Well, exactly. And that's what I was thinking about the whole time I was watching this, and the contrast with what we have today. And like you and I have in our talking points, right? We have our initial reactions, talking points, and then final thoughts or final reactions. And, you and I wanted to talk about, the family members helping each other, and friendships, and those persons helping non-family members. And just like Aaron mentioned, the odd stranger. I'm so glad he did that in the synopsis, because you do have this odd stranger. It's a Guppin, and I was going to go back and check his name, but from the land of the Guppins, that's going to, I think, a future episode when I just look on Disney Plus and look at all the different Ewok episodes in season 1 and season 2. But it's I thought about it too as I was typing. Because Aaron and I put these show notes together with each other, and I thought, wait a minute, it's not just that Guppin that helps Wicket, particularly with the Dandelion Warriors that I was talking about, but then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, Tebow, kind of towards the end of the episode is like, I need to help Wicket and his brothers, and so you really do have. Someone who's an odd stranger, but then you have someone that is a longtime friend of theirs as well, helping and ultimately helping Deej, who is Deej, Deej, who is Wicket's dad. So I love what this models for young kids. I mean, like I said, there's a silliness to it, but ultimately the messages from this episode and from a lot of these is very positive, and just like Aaron mentioned, exactly what our world needs, because it's very much all about me, right? I've joked many times on this show that it shouldn't be called an iPhone, it should be called a me phone, because it's all about me, right? And so it's just so refreshing to see a cartoon like this and what it's modeling.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's exactly what it is. And the Guppin's name is Ring Ring.
Okay, thank you.
Ring Ring, Ring Ring, the Guppin.
Yeah. Nice.
So you're welcome. So, but yeah, this is seeing them work together is definitely awesome, and they go through the tasks and they get the ingredients, they get back, they give it to Logray, of course, who does his, mixing and chanting and everything, and kind of pours it out all over Deej's body and lets the magic heal him, and he gets up and we all live happily ever after. Essentially is how it goes. It's a typical, half hour show.
That's right.
And it gives that, and it's got that feel good ending to it. Everybody's happy, hooray, jump on dad because he's fine, and it's just perfect. And it's awesome to see that happen. That those things were what was happening back in the day, and Ring Ring just still kind of just hangs around there. I mean, this episode ends with him, as they're all celebrating. You get the picture of the Ewok village and the hut that they're in, and Ring Ring's just kind of hanging out there, looking through the door.
Yeah.
As everybody celebrates. So, but I loved this episode. There was just so much fun. Yeah, I think one of my favorite scenes was there at the beginning, and this was just some of the comedic elements of the episode, where we have them fishing. And he pulls out the one brother, I can't think of his name, Willie. Right. Pulls out the little snapping
chopper fish,
yeah, and it just eats up his entire pole and shoots water at him. And then when he's hanging from a log trying to get up so he doesn't fall in the water, it jumps up and bites him on the butt. So he of course gives him the strength to go jumping out of the water and getting away.
Of course.
It's just little things like that which were just awesome, and made the episode humorous but educational at the same point.
Yeah. Well, and shortly after that, just a little talking point that I wanted to mention was when they're in Logray's kind of his area of Bright Tree Forest. Willie drinks some potion and he's floating all over the place. And Weechi, who I kind of see him as the oldest brother, and then probably Willie and then Wicket. Mm-hmm. Weechi, I was like, wait a minute, what did he just say? And I rewound it, my tape, right? Videotape. No, on my streaming, I hit back 10 seconds. And I hear Weechi say, yeah, just like him, always thinking with his stomach. And that's exactly what Han Solo says to Chewbacca on Endor, right? When he goes for it and they get pulled up into the big net that they have to try to get themselves out of. So very much a Return of the Jedi reference there by Weechi. And I thought that was kind of fun. And so just wanted to mention that if people didn't catch that.
Great job, Chewie. Always thinking with your stomach.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. I didn't catch that at first. I heard the line, but I didn't make the connection until I read it in your notes. And I went, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Of course. And I could see the scene perfectly in my head after that. Yeah.
Well, whoever this writer, Bob Carrau, the Carrau, he threw that in there, and I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it is. It was really cool. And the whole thing with him drinking the potion and kind of floating up to the roof, get kind of nods to, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, with the potion that the boy Charlie drinks, and him and his grandpa are floating around the tunnel, and kind of reminded me of that, but also kind of gave me also reminded me a little bit of Mary Poppins too, when they're in the laughing room and the laughing hysterically, and the laughing is keeping them up in the air.
Yeah.
Floating around. It's just little nods like that, which intentional or not, those are kind of the connections I make to it. But that Return of the Jedi reference, spot on.
Yeah, that was cool. Very cool.
Spot on. Well, anything else you wanted to talk about the episode about that we missed?
No, that was it. Those were the little talking points. Good amount of them. Good, not too many, not too few of them.
Perfect. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up with our final thoughts. I like I said earlier, I know these aren't canon, but man, these are a must watch. Whether you like Star Wars, whether you got kids, this is just fun to watch. I really wish I would have been around the fandom a lot earlier in life. I would have watched these when they aired, and I would have loved every minute of it. It would have been perfect growing up. This episode was a perfect fit to the series so far. I love the mission to save their father. I love that it was important to them and they were willing to risk it all, facing their fears, facing the unknown, and doing whatever it takes to get it done. I love, I knew this going in, but I love the fact that this fits in with all the other 80 shows that have that obvious moral to the story. And that's what made Saturday mornings growing up so great, is we had excellent entertainment, but it taught us something as well. And I miss that. The positivity runs all through this, with them helping each other, helping their family, friends helping in, meeting new people, no judging. It was just, it was perfect in every way. I loved it. David, what were your final thoughts on this episode?
Yeah, mine echo a lot of what you said. I think at first glance or first blush that these seem just like silly Saturday morning cartoons. But I beg to differ. And here's where I'm going to give people a little bit more of a psychology corner, almost two of them. One right here in my final thoughts, final reactions, but also in my psychology corner. So getting a twofer tonight. Why do I say this? Because similar to what Aaron said, these are good stories for young kids to see and learn from. You have family members helping each other, and you have a guppin, right? That friend. You have friends helping friends. You have Tebow coming in, a longtime friend helping. That's positive. Friends and family members helping each other, and those are the right things to do. Help family and help others. Mm-hmm. And negativity is everywhere. 2020, 2021, and even as we go into 2022, I'm not, shocking anybody here with these statements. Stress, depression, anxiety are on the rise. We're seeing it in the number of referrals to our behavioral health department. It's from our primary care docs. It's staggering, right? And something I was thinking about as I was typing up this part of my, the final reactions is, I thought about George Lucas and when he was writing Star Wars and what he wanted it to be a response to. It was to all the disaster movies of the, late 60s, early 70s. And here George is writing this mid 70s and putting it out in 1977. And I think about these. What a perfect time for young kids to watch these episodes. Not back in the 80s, right? It was great then, but do it now. 2022. Watch these as a reaction to all the negativity out there. Just like George Lucas writing Star Wars as a reaction to all the negativity he saw out there. And of course, we had Vietnam and all that. And so, piggybacking on what I just said, I want people to know, unfortunately, that negative statements weigh more than positive statements. Right? How do we know this? Now, I don't want that to be true on this planet, but it's a broken planet. Things are imperfect. Humans are imperfect. And unfortunately, a negative statement weighs more versus being equal. I'll give an example. I saw a psychologist. I'm not taking credit for this. I saw a psychologist say, if you're a mom or a dad and you're not a very good parent, and you say something like, with anger on your face and emotion, you say, I wish you were never born. And I'm just trying not to yell that out loud. Now, the psychologist said you probably need to start with what? 500 positive statements to start making a dent in the one negative statement.
Mhm.
And if you think about it, if you're that parent, you're like, wait a minute, I said that. It's the next day. I made one statement. I wish you were never born. I know how to fix it. Let me, with a bunch of positive emotion, say to that boy or girl, I am so thankful you were born. Well, guess what? That doesn't do it. That one positive statement does not equal the negative statement. I wish it did. It doesn't on this planet. And so what I'm trying to say is we really need to make a concerted effort to be more positive and say more, many more positive statements to others. We need more attaboys, more attagirls. And these cartoons are a wonderful reminder to do that, to be kind, to be helpful, and to say positive things to people. This isn't me being overly, honey, dripping down and everybody's sweet and everybody. No, I'm not saying that at all. But boy, oh boy, are we not very good as a culture at praising good behaviors. We're really good at criticizing things that we don't like. How about we get better at praising, good behaviors and seeing people being kind and helpful? So just wanted to share that's why I'm really making and Aaron is too. We're both making a strong argument about why, this episode and 80s cartoons that had these morals, why they were so important. It wasn't a waste of time or a waste of animation or a half hour of Saturday morning. It was good stuff. And I don't see it as brainwashing in a negative way. It's really conveying to people, help your family members and help your friends. And so anyways, I just wanted to share that as a mini psychology corner there, Aaron, in my final reactions to this episode. So there you go.
Very good. Very good. Love it. Love it. And of course, we want to hear what you think of Ewoks. And of course, to Save Deej, the episode we discussed today. You can, of course, hit us up on any of our social media channels, Facebook or Instagram or even Pinterest at SW Reactions, or of course, Twitter at SW Reactions Pod. Or email us, show@starwarsreactions.com. Let us know what you think. We would love to hear your thoughts. David, do you have a new psychology corner for us this week? You gave us one. It's time for part 2.
Yeah, I tell you, if people tune in, they're going to be rewarded. Talk about, right, rewarding positive behavior. So Aaron and I consider it a positive behavior if you tune in and listen to us. We are going to reward you. So, yes, I do. And I'm continuing in the stages of change, the theory of change. And so far, I have covered in previous episodes, people can go back and listen to them. And these are pretty short ones. It's pretty doable, pretty easy for people to listen to. They could just bop right through several of our previous podcast episodes and listen. But I've covered pre-contemplation, contemplation, and I've covered the preparation stage. All right, so covered 3. This is the 4th stage of change, and it's called the action stage. Okay, and so, like I mentioned, I've been trying to just repeat myself because it helps people to learn. I've kind of had a statement with each of them. Pre-contemplation statement is, I don't need to change. The contemplation stage, the statement that goes with that would be, I might change. And in our last episode, I mentioned with the preparation stage, I will change. I really will. But they haven't quite gotten there yet. Well, with the action stage, the statement is, I have started to change. And just to give people an idea, the changes are underway, and it hasn't been just for a day or two or a week or even a month. We're usually looking at this action stage. To officially call it the action stage, it's usually the length of time is about 6 months that the person has been engaged in those that changed behavior, whatever it may be. An example that I've been using over the last couple of sessions is, a person wanting to exercise and work out more. Well, kind of a sign that the person is in the action stage is that they go to the gym on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, each week. They might even be working out with a trainer who's helped them set out, a plan of action as well to do that. These behaviors, they are observable to other people, whether it's exercising or eating more healthy, or they're no longer smoking, stuff like that. And again, they've really started to get into it for about 6 months. Now, that isn't fully locked in change behavior, but it's really getting there. And in our next episode, I will cover another stage. We only have 2 more stages left, and then we'll go from there. But so there's now the first 4 stages within the stages of change theory of change.
Very cool. Very cool. Love it.
There you go, brother.
It. Very good. Now, if somebody has questions for you about your Psychology Corner or about Ewoks or Star Wars in general, sir, how would they go about doing that?
Yes, sir. They have 3 different ways. First one, probably the most common way, is to do it through Twitter. And my Twitter address is at David_Modders, Modders. I also have email. Aaron and I have that with Star Wars Reactions. Mine is david@starwarsreactions.com. And then on Instagram, it's just simply type in my name, David Modders, and you'll find me really quick, really easy. So there they are.
Very good. Very good. Of course, if you want to talk Star Wars with me, the easiest place to do that is Twitter at TAHarris121079. Or, of course, you can email me, Aaron, at StarWarsReactions.com. Well, it's time to reward our listeners again, David.
Here we go.
It is time to wrap everything up, put a nice pretty bow on it with our Star Wars dad joke of the week. Anyway, Star Wars dad joke of the week. Are you ready, David?
I was born ready.
Very good. Why did Jabba win the pizza contest?
I don't know, Aaron. Why did Jabba win the pizza contest?
Because no one out-pizzas the Hutt.
God, it's so blatantly bad.
No one out-pizzas the Hutt.
Oh, my God.
Thank you, Pizza Hut, for that lame joke.
Well,
love it. Love it, love it, love it. So many more of these. I could do this for years.
Well, considering some of the numbers and people listening, it's really good to see that these Star Wars dad joke of the week is not leading to decreased listenership. So, I was just going to make a comment on that too, Aaron. I hear a lot of other podcasts. I know we don't typically do it, but I wanted to say it tonight. I wanted to encourage people, if you're listening and you enjoy this and you have fun with Aaron's Star Wars dad joke of the week, and you get a little something out of my, Psychology Corner. If you get a little bit or a lot, I'm very thankful. Take what helps you, toss what doesn't help you. But encourage other people. They say that that's the fastest way these things grow is by word of mouth. And so, I just want to be encourage people to listen in. Aaron and I are family friendly, and it's fun, and you learn something, and we talk about the, Star Wars, and, how could you not recommend this to your friends? So, I just please do it if you're so inclined.
Absolutely. Please. We word of mouth is the best way, and we appreciate it. So definitely, if you are so inclined, thank you. I really want to do a second joke, but I'm going to try to resist the temptation.
Well, how do you do that when you bring it up? Right? Don't they always say that? Oh, I need to tell you something, but I can't tell you that. So you probably need to do it. No, you're gonna hold it next week?
I don't know. The force is strong with this joke.
Okay, well, is it?
All
this
right,
is
let's
a Star
do it.
Wars dad joke.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay,
Yes.
let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
What do you call five Siths piled on top of a lightsaber?
I don't know. What do you call 5 Siths piled on top of a lightsaber?
Sith kebab.
That's worse than the hut.
Sith kebab.
I hope someone didn't just crash their car. They're listening to this.
I like that. Was awesome. A Sith kebab.
Well, hey, people, hey, right, Aaron, they got 2 psychology corners, 2 Star Wars dad jokes of the week. How's that for rewarding good behavior?
All in, you can't get much better, especially, we were talking before the show, what's coming up next week, 2/22/22. So let's just double everything up this week.
That's right.
So,
oh my God.
All right, David, my brother, this has been fun as always.
Oh, great time, my friend.
All right. Well, everybody, we appreciate you. Thank you all so much for joining us again this week for our 76th episode of Star Wars Reactions. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are the best. We love y'all. We appreciate you. We're praying for y'all. Stay healthy, stay safe, and be kind and do good for yourselves and do good for others. Spread some love around. We appreciate y'all. Remember, this is your place for elegant discussion for a more civilized age.
If you'd like to share your thoughts, you can email us at show@starwarsreactions.com for our show notes and the latest news from the Star Wars universe. Visit our website at www.starwarsreactions.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at SWReactionsPod or on Facebook at Star Wars Reactions. If you enjoy our show, please leave a review on iTunes. This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or by Lucasfilm Limited. It's intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars. All names, sounds, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Star Wars Reactions unless otherwise indicated. Star Wars Reactions. Elegant discussion for a more civilized age.